I want to share some happy news, and I want to share this happy news because our listeners, the Bob and Sheri community, helped me raise my children, and I have exciting news about one of my children. And I hadn't really talked. I mean, we've touched on it a little bit here and there, but one of our listeners DM'd me and she said, like these are like I feel like the aunts and cousins to these kids, and I would like to know what's going on, especially with Caramia. So Caramia is my youngest, the teapot. Caramia is getting ready to graduate from college, which is shocking for me too, because I feel like I put her to bed last night and she was 7 years old in a sparkly princess nightgown, and 15 necklaces. And now suddenly we're looking at college graduation. So Caramia originally wanted to be a lawyer and started out college aiming in that direction, and then took a class that completely changed her life and her course and her direction and everything. And now she wants to be a professor. She wants to teach and do research. And so she changed her major she double majored government and philosophy, thinking that would be a good combination for law school. But philosophy is what really captured her heart. And so began applying to graduate schools. And grad school is really competitive and very difficult to get into, not to mention crazy expensive. And so there were just a lot of conditions that were going to be placed on where or even if Caramia could go to school. So she got rejected by a lot of schools because that's just the way it goes. But she got accepted by a lot of really good schools too. She got waitlisted for the doctoral program at Vanderbilt as an undergrad. I mean, I cried for 2 days over that.
Yeah. That's awesome.
She got into Marquette, which is a great school, and I would have been delighted with that. She got into Northern Illinois. She got into the University of Oregon. I mean, I could sit here and laundry list, right? But I can tell you she also got rejected from every name brand school you've ever heard of, because Caramia, it takes after me and is very ambitious. Applied to Harvard, Princeton, Yale, rejected. It's been a difficult season, because even as you know that you're going to get rejected from Yale, the rejection still stings. And so it's been an emotional roller coaster. And one of the places that they applied was Colorado State, because my family, we have a lot of family out west. We're very bonded to that part of the world. Colorado is a great place to live, and Colorado State has a really terrific master's program of philosophy. And so they not only admitted her, they offered her a full tuition scholarship and a teaching assistantship.
Wow.
Which meant that
huge.
This dream that was so out of reach for us, because, the University of Chicago, where Caramia was also accepted, the tuition's $85,000 a year. Like, I don't know who can go there, but we are not those people. Mommy, my father was in prison. My mom didn't finish high school. Mommy works on the radio. We are not University of Chicago money people. So Caramia has accepted. She pushed the button to accept the offer, and in August is moving to Colorado, where she'll be about 90 minutes from Tony. So I feel great. We have family in the area, and only about 10 hours from my mom. So part of me wants to cry because it's so far away, but the rest of me is like, we did it. I never thought about my own self. I was just running. I was running away from chaos. But then I had my girls, and I thought, what if we didn't run away from chaos? What if we ran toward a future that could be so much better than where we come from? And, Olivia went to school and graduated, and now my teapot, whose dream it is to be a college professor, is going to go off and get that education and that training in the Rocky Mountains. And I just wanted to share that with everybody, because you all have been by my side on this parenting journey, and you have cheered for that kid every step of the way, from when she was shoplifting produce to when she was dancing and traveling. And
that's amazing.
I love y'all.
Yeah,
it really takes a village, and y'all been my village. And we're so proud of our teapot. So yay, can we celebrate a little bit of happy news?
Sign up for our newsletter. We never spam you.
Never did.
Get Bob and Sheri exclusives. Just go to bobandsheri.com.
Lamar mentioned something casually before the show started. He goes, Do you hear what the cruise ship lines are recommending about how to make your vacation better? So, Lamar, I would like you to tell everybody what the cruise ship lines are recommending in order to make your vacation better, because I have so many thoughts.
Well, I'm not sure exactly who this message is for, because those of us that have ever done a cruise, we've planned everything out on the fact that we're going to get to that ship and do as much as we can and then get back home. But the cruise people, and this is a cruise critic, he does a cruising website, and he's always talking about different things. And so this is what his advice is. He's calling it the 1 day rule, because when you're trying to get to the cruise ship, I'm going to say probably 80% maybe, or maybe more than that, fly to the port to get on the cruise ship. And so with the way planes are operating now, how the scheduling is crazy. The last time I was on a plane, or the last 3 times I was on a plane, it was delayed all 3 times. And one of those times the flight was canceled and started over. So if you're trying to get to a cruise and you leave that morning on a plane and you're taking off at 12 o'clock, this is a problem. So what the cruise guy is saying is you need to plan on going a day early, possibly 2 days early, get you a room in the port of call, and just relax by the pool, have a little cocktail. Then that morning you can drive over to the place. You're early getting on the ship, and you don't have to worry. It takes all the worry out of it. I don't know what kind of job he's got where he's getting extra days to prepare for being off. I don't know how that works. I mean,
is he, you know how the cruise lines, one of the neat things about the cruise lines is they employ people from all over the world. Is this person not American? Because we can barely get the time off for the vacation, much less an extra couple of days to get ready for the vacation. Perhaps he's from, I don't know, Finland or something. Where is he from?
He's talking about you can look at this as a mini vacation to prepare for the vacation. No, you're right. He doesn't work in America, and he doesn't work at a place where, listen, you calling in sick just to try to get to the cruise line, much less go a day or 2 early to sit out by the pool and have a cocktail, because those rooms are not cheap. You're having to pay 1 to 2 nights stay to get ready for something that you've saved all year to pay for. I'm not understanding it. I don't see how you get this. I mean,
this vacation to prepare for the vacation. I'm sorry. I'm an American worker. May I have a day off for my papa's funeral? No? Okay. Like, what are you even talking about here? Yeah.
I don't know who he's talking to. I mean, I really don't know who he's talking to, unless he's talking to retired people that are going on cruises. Then I get that. I get that. Because it would be nice. Wouldn't it be nice not to worry? Not you and I were on a flight not too long ago, and the people behind us were freaking out because we had been sitting, and so we're sitting on a plane forever and forever and ever, and they're knowing they're not going to make their next flight to get them to their vacation. And I think they were going on a cruise. What are they going to do? So I get that, but it's not convenient. It's just not convenient for the average American worker to have a mini vacation before the vacation. I'm sorry.
Leave us a talk back with the free Bob and Sheri app.
Hey gang, it's Nancy from Charlotte. I called in a couple of weeks ago talking about my great Aunt Lenny and her dipping her snuff and spitting in her little wicker purse. Well, this is another story about the other side of my family. The other day you were talking about marrying your cousins and the like, and this is similar but a little different, but I need you to listen very carefully so you can catch it all. So my first cousin got married and they had 2 kids. When the kids were really little, they divorced. The children stayed with her. When their oldest, their son, reached the teen years, and everyone knows how traumatic the teen years can be, he decided that he didn't want to live with mom, he wanted to live with his dad. So that's where he went. He went and lived with his dad and his stepmother. Well, eventually, the dad and the stepmother got divorced. And when this young man got to be in his late teens, started dating his stepmother. Eventually, he married his stepmother and raised his half-brother as his child. True story. Yeah, it's my family. Have a great day.
Wow. Wow.
Wow. I love a complicated family history as much as the next girl.
Wow.
Don't you have kind of a wild story in this area, Lamar?
This has been many, many years ago. A friend of mine that I worked with, he had gotten divorced and he had remarried, and his son came to live with him, and he was probably like 19, 20 years old, and he was working second shift. And my buddy said, he took me to lunch one day and we were talking. He says, I don't know what's going on here. He said, but I wake up like in the middle of the night and I get up to go to the bathroom, and there sits my wife and my son sitting at the table just talking because he just got off work. Okay. Which makes sense. I mean, he just got off work, but he said, I don't know. Well, long story short, it wound up that they became intertwined with each other, and she left my buddy and his son, went with her, and they moved in together. And oh yeah, sure did. So I told this story many, many, many years ago on the show. I told the story with no names, of course. And I hadn't got off the phone, not 5 minutes. I got a phone call from his ex-wife, and she's like, I cannot believe that you would say that out loud on the radio. And I said, well, I can't believe you'd do it. I mean, so I don't know who's worse here. I mean, did I say anything that was wrong? She goes, well, I said, did I say anybody's name? I said, so evidently the bit dog always hollers because you called me. I mean, maybe I was talking about somebody else. I don't know how many other people's done this besides you, but I'm just saying. Oh, she was hot. She was hot.
Lamar,
she did not like it.
I have found that when you upset someone and they call you out on it and you tell them, well, you did it, that really escalates it.
She says, do you not feel bad? I said, back at you. I said, well, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Do I feel bad about telling it, or you do feel bad about doing it? She goes, well, I just can't talk to you. I said, I don't. She says, I tell you what, give me the number. I'll call that radio station. I said, oh my God, they would love it. Trust me on this. They would love it. That would be radio gold. I said,
we would most definitely have given her all the equal time she was entitled to. All of it.
Yeah. So
that bit dog barks loudest thing. Ooh, that's one of those colorful expressions. The first time you unrolled that on me, I was like, bit dog barks loudest. Yeah. You taught me another one of my favorite expressions. I just included it in an episode of True Weird Stuff. And I asked Kevin about it, and he hadn't heard it before. And that is, let's you and him fight, which is such a good strategy. You stand on the outside and you agitate until the two people that you want to see tearing each other up are going at it, and then you make popcorn and watch. Everybody knows that phenomenon, but you taught me that expression. So I'm going to add that to the book of Lamar, the colorful expressions.
Instant access to the podcast, and fun side. Just download the free Bob and Sheri app.
Lamar was going to kick off the show with a wild story about a pregnant lady, but just in casual chit-chat a little bit ago, he mentioned getting frisked at a baseball game. So why don't you tell everybody what happened to you at the game?
We've got a brand new baseball stadium that's opened up in downtown Spartanburg. It's beautiful. And so they're having some different exhibition games and stuff. So you can come in and just tour the facility and whatever. So we're walking in, and you walk through a metal detector like you do everywhere else. You walk through a metal detector. Well, Carla's in front of me, my wife, and she sets off the detector. So he takes her to the side, and she opens up her purse, and she's got like her sunglasses and I think maybe a extra battery for the phone or something like that. And it's okay, no problem. And so when I walk through, I set it off, and I figured I would after she did. So he comes over with the wand, and he wands me on the left side, whatever. And then he goes under the right side, and it starts to beep. And he looks at me, and I said, it's my pocket knife. And he goes, a pocket knife? And I said, yeah. And so he hesitated, and I hesitated, and I looked at him. I said, we're in the South, right? And he goes, yeah, you're right. Go ahead. Don't worry about it. I said, okay. Because that's the point. It's the point. If you're in the South and you got on a pair of pants and it's got a pocket, if you don't have a pocket knife in it, what are you doing? I mean, it's ridiculous. Why would you walk around without one? Stupid.
That tripped me out when I first met Kevin and we were first dating. Like that, he just had a pocket knife. Like I felt like, I'm sorry, are you Huck Finn? Like, what are we doing here? He got a pocket knife. But it occurred to me very quickly that it's very handy to have a pocket knife. I don't have one, but my daughters carry a pocket knife because they grew up watching. That when you have a pocket knife, you're always there to open a package or cut a piece of twine or a stick or whatever. Like what's an example of something you use it for all the time that those of us who don't have a pocket knife are denied?
I cannot think of one day in my life that I have not used it for something. One of the simplest things that I do, and I drink a lot of coffee, if I stop at a convenience store or a Starbucks or whatever, and I go in and get the coffee to go, you put the cup cover over it. It's got this little bitty air hole, but when you turn the coffee up, because that air hole is so small, you get a splash of hot coffee and it burns you. So I never get a coffee that I don't whip out the pocket knife and I stab that little bitty hole and I turn it into a big hole so that the flow of the coffee is very even. It's very simple, but I do
That's
it every time.
That's like physics. That would not have occurred to me to make that hole bigger.
And there's always something that needs to be, there's tape that needs to be cut. There's something always. I don't ever have a day when I don't use it. So
I love
if
that.
you
though,
don't have one,
case.
you just don't realize it. You just don't realize it.
Kevin, I swear part of the reason Kevin won't fly anymore is because he kept getting pocket knives confiscated. He just got tired of having his knives
That's why I check
by
luggage. I
TSA.
take one with me. Everywhere I go. I check my luggage and I put the pocket knife. First thing I do when I get the luggage back is I put the pocket knife back in my pocket. I mean,
well, that's handy.
tool.
I mean, now wherever I go, there's a man by my side with a knife in his pocket. I will never have to break a nail tearing open a package.
Use the Talk Back feature on the free Bob and Sheri app and leave us a message.
Hi, Bob and Sheri. I was just listening to you talk about the dog who ate the underwear, and I had to tell you that I had a pug in the mid-1990s who swallowed a cicada, and the cicada got caught in her esophagus, and it cost $3,000 to remove it. To put that in perspective, I was in college at the time, and each semester of college, including room and board, was $5,000. So $3,000 for my parents.
Wow.
Well, I mean, I love a pug, but they will eat anything. And some of those cicadas are gigantic. Oh my God. So we had to rush the pug to the emergency vet, gasping and wheezing with a cicada in its throat, like the sequel to Silence of the Lambs. Ah!
We can save his life now. That'll be $3,000. What are you going to do?
Lamar Darcy ate a sock. That cost you some
yeah.
cash, right?
Listen,
Yeah.
I've had that conversation with the vets a couple of different times with Darby and with another dog. They come out there and they say, we can fix this. What's the odds? It's 50-50. It's $3,000. Sign here. Well, what are you going to do? Sign there.
Wait a second. You have a vet in the family now. Doesn't that help?
It didn't help that day.
Yeah.
That was before we had a vet in the family.
Yeah. You would have thought, but so far it's not really helping me a lot because she's an hour and 20 minutes away. So that's not really helping me. It's not. That was, we're hopeful though. Maybe one day.
What was it? Socks? Is that what Darby ate? Socks?
Darby ate 3 socks, and that was $3,000 to get those out.
Yeah. I unlocked a memory. So I'm having breakfast with my youngest last Sunday, and we were talking about undercooked bacon. We weren't eating bacon, but we were talking about undercooked bacon. And I was like, you know what, Caramia, what I just remembered? So when I was a kid, they had this thing called Johnson's orange flavored baby aspirin. Do you guys remember orange flavored baby aspirin?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And, my parents never took us to any of them fancy school educated doctors, but we had Vicks Vapo Rub, we had Mercurochrome, we had Hall's cough syrup, and we had Vaseline. and orange flavored chewable baby aspirins. What we didn't have were a lot of treats in the house or any candy at all. My mom just did not buy it. We got that at our grandparents and Halloween. So I ate an entire bottle of chewable orange flavored baby aspirin because a child will eat anything if it can pass as candy. And so my mom needed to get me to throw up because taking me to get my stomach pumped was going to cost money that we did not have. My mom fed me a piece of raw bacon. room temp.
She what?
And I threw up those baby aspirin. I think I threw up 3/4 of my internal organs at the same
Wait a
time.
second.
But
raw bacon.
yeah.
Wasn't she worried
Raw
about?
bacon.
Wait, couldn't you get worms from that?
Not if you threw it up.
Well, yeah, but
Max,
Yeah,
Max, you are such a good investigative journalist. This is the same woman that will cook a pork chop until it turned into jerky for fear of trichinosis. But by all means, give the
Right.
baby the raw bacon. Yeah.
that'd
But you
do
know
it.
what? She was right. She knew what she was about because I got that raw bacon down and I brought those baby aspirin up and I'm sitting here living to tell the tale. So I have great solidarity with my pug friend that ate a cicada. Are you telling me that you didn't do stuff like that and your parents took you to a book learning doctor? Come on, Lamar. I'm having a hard time believing that with you.
No. I tell you my whole story about that whole stomach pump. I had my stomach pumped out. Yeah. we did that.
Oh yeah, you did get your stomach
Yeah.
pumped. Well,
Yeah,
your
I
people
did.
were fancy. Your people
Yeah,
were
we had-
fancy.
yeah.
We did DIY stomach pumping with some raw Oscar Mayer bacon.